competency is a part of an overall subject that you need to understand in order to pass a class.
Well, the competencies for us at least, they're showing us in each class what each teacher wants us to learn and what they want us when we're learning about things, what we want to be thinking about and what they're actually grading us on.
I imagine them as kind of like a further breakdown of grades. It's not like just getting a 96 in English. It's you got a 4 in essays in English, you got a 3 in poetry. It's a further breakdown of your grades so that not only you but also your parents and your teachers can further understand where you exceed and where you need to do more work.
The big thing that I'm having trouble with is that if you get one grade, like at the final, and it brings that one competency down, you don't pass the class. But you could be high in every single other one, but that one competency, that's the part that I've had trouble with.
It's very different from how it was in middle school. So in middle school we just have a overall grade, whereas now you have to pay attention to each specific competency because you might be failing one competency but passing another. So you have to pay a lot of attention to your overall grade, otherwise you might not actually get credit on the report card you think you're going to get.
I think it should be explained by the teachers a little bit more elaborated by the teachers on how they work so that we can understand them a little bit better, because I feel that most students don't completely understand the competencies.
The rubrics, they focus in on our competencies really specifically. So each competency has its own set of rubrics.
Like a ladder. You get one, great, you can move on to the other one. So in your mind, you can have this little check going off, go, oh, I did this, check, I did this, check. And it's easier because you can achieve your goals. If I was struggling in a competency, the first step would be to talk to a teacher if the teacher already hasn't talked to you. If you get an IWS, insufficient work show, or an incomplete, the teacher will hunt you down. And if beyond that, you will go to our assistant principal, Mr. Trammell, and then he'll sit down and talk to you, or Ms. Hadwin, and they'll talk to you about a plan, what you can do to be better at it.
If you fail a competency, so there are a lot of different options. So there's competency recovery, which are often available. We have a whole computer lab, and so kids can retake them using NovaNet or VLAX. You can also just reassess in the classroom, so you could just retake a project, retake a test. You have standards, but you can present them in any way that you can. I mean, any way that you want to. So they'll be express that you know this knowledge to me, so that a kid could write an essay, make a PowerPoint, make a poster, and it's very open-ended like that. I think this is a very hard thing to accommodate, especially as a teacher in a classroom filled with kids who are at all different levels of the spectrum. There's obviously the good amount who are meeting and keeping up with the competencies, and there's those who are falling behind, but there's always a few who are, ready. They're confident. They've proved they're confident and they're ready to move on. What I like to have are just intelligent conversations, more in-depth conversations. If we're learning about integration in math, I want to learn the history of it. I want to learn about different applications of it, not just here's a problem, solve it, but ways to use it in real life. I want to be able to have those conversations with the teacher, maybe with other students who are in the same place.
My report card looks pretty much the same as it always has, but the numbers are a little bit different.
It's a little bit more specified as to what I can do and what I'm good at. When you had A, B, C, D, F, it was just kind of a broad generalization of how good you did. But these competencies kind of break it down, you know what I mean? So I guess colleges get a better idea of exactly what you're good at.
I don't think it affects that much for college because you're still getting an overall grade, and colleges have a good idea of competency-based grading because our school explains it to them so they know how you're graded. I don't think my parents have any idea about competency-based grading. I don't think they understand that grading is different from how it used to be when they were younger.
I think my parents understand. I mean, I tried to explain it to them and they're pretty involved with the school, so I think they understand the basis of what's going on. The way that they're worded is kind of strange sometimes, so I think that can be improved.
we've been told a lot by teachers how competencies work. Every time we get a new rubric, they explain which competencies we're going to focus on. And it's just a very integral part of the system already, so I think I have a good idea. In order to properly use all the material in a class, you have to understand everything going on because everything relates, and it's conceptual thinking versus individual segment thinking.